to the Now Magazine Show with your host, Mikey Jay, which is me, yeah. And today I would like to welcome my guest, very special guest, the creator and founder of African American Women in Cinema, Terra Renee. And we're gonna have some fun today. We're gonna have a conversation about where Terra is at right now, career-wise, and what she's doing with her projects and things of that nature. So sit back, relax, kick up your feet, relax, and get ready for the Now Magazine Show. Greetings, salutations, and welcome to the Now Magazine Show. Now listen, this is my debut show for the Now Magazine Show. And just in case you was wondering, the DA in the Now stands for Dynamic Artists. So, I definitely want everyone to know what the DA stands for, because I don't want you to think it's replacing the. But we're gonna have a fun show, and the Now Magazine Show is like my Entertainment Tonight or Access Hollywood. And with that being said, I want to welcome our first guest. I'm honored to have her. She's an African American woman in cinema founder, creator, Essence Magazine. She was featured on This Is Now on ABC Channel 7, and also NAACP Woman of the Year. And I just want to welcome Ms. Terra Renee to the Now Magazine Show.
Thank you so much for having me, Mikey Jay. This is wonderful.
To have you. I'm blessed.
Good to be here.
This is really surreal for me, because normally I'm on the other end of that chair. But I get to interview a mentor. And that's what I always look at you as my mentor. And you just did the Women of Excellence Awards, and you honored quite a few people. So,
Sure. That was a interesting program, and it was birthed out of the fact that I just saw so much underrepresentation of such powerful women who have paved the way, not only in entertainment, but in various industries. And it was my way of paying homage to them, to let them know that someone is watching, and not only watching, but appreciating what you're doing, because I really felt, still do now, deep down inside, that they're making it easier for the next generation, or for those who are coming behind them. And that, to me personally, is one of our purposes in life. What are we doing for the next generation to make it easier for them? So that was our way of saying we salute you.
You started Women of Excellence Awards 17 years ago, correct?
Actually, I started the African American Woman in Cinema Film Festival 18 years ago. Next year will be 19. However, during the film festival, that's when we started honoring women. So
awesome.
in one sense, you're right, but we extracted the presentation and just had it stand alone on its own.
So who have you honored over the years?
Oh, we honored tons of women. Regina King, who recently won an Emmy this year, so we're very proud of her.
And if y'all know who Regina King is, then I don't know what to tell y'all. Honestly, I mean, we don't know what to tell y'all. But who else?
Elise Neal.
Okay.
Daphne Reed, Maxwell Reed. We honored Nia Long. Tasha Smith.
Tasha. She has a twin sister too.
Yeah,
right?
Sidra.
Yep.
Identical twins. We had support from Ruby Dee, Hollywood legend Leslie Uggams.
Yeah.
So the list is pretty substantial.
And this year you honored quite a few as well.
Emmy Award, she is a 3-time Emmy Award winner. Lorenz Grant, who's a producer, her claim to fame is the documentary called Freedom Riders, which was featured on Oprah TV show. And it was an incredible film about the summer of the Freedom Riders in 1964. Very in-depth documentary. I recommend it for anyone to see, and it was very educational. So she was one of our honorees. We honored Flo Anthony, who received a Decade of the Year award. She's been in media journalist for so many years. One of the first African Americans to work in a specialized column at the Daily News.
Awesome.
So, and then we had Rosalind McClimate, who is the founder of the Network Journal, very prominent industry magazine. Mainly they focus on Black Americans, but the topics are universal and the writing is impeccable. And we also honored an up-and-coming, we call it the Rising Star, Miss Janine Daniels.
I gave that award.
Yes.
I presented that award. I looked kind of sharp, too. I was real preppy, doing my thing.
Her story is interesting. She grew up in a very rough part of her community, and that talent she had in writing was discovered by an organization called Right Girls, and they cultivated her. And so she went on and got a development deal with HBO. So we're very proud of her and was very proud to honor her that night and just
Awesome.
encourage her and say, you know, we're with you. So, and outside the industry, we honored Carla Hunter Ramsey from the National Grid. So we can't, you know, we don't want to forget those in the corporate world who are opening doors as well.
Yep.
So it was a very, very historical night. We did make history as the first media Black woman organization to honor top Black women and at one of America's top financial institutions. So we were
And
very
city
pleased.
councilman was there.
We had City Council
Jamani
member
Wilson.
Jamani Williams on
Yeah.
hand giving out proclamations and citations.
Yeah.
And new Senator Leroy Comrie, even though he wasn't there, sent a representative to give out proclamations and citations as well. So it was very historical.
Yeah, and you had legendary Dr.
Dr.
Bob
Bob
Lee,
Lee.
WBLS. This is
Yes.
Dr. Bob Lee, WBLS. But he's cool, man.
Yeah, he is.
He's cool. But how does it feel to look back when you started African American women in cinema to where you're at now? Does it still feel like surreal or like?
Well, you know, it's so interesting because African American Women in Cinema was only supposed to be a one-day event. It came about when I was writing a screenplay because I wanted to hire more women. That was sparked by an audition call that I got. Big time motion film studio was shooting a motion picture, and they were looking for a tall African American woman, not a size 0, for an under 5 role. Under 5 meaning under 5 lines. And when I got to the audition site, I saw about 1,000 women look like me. I was just shocked.
Wow.
So I wanted to hire more women. And out of that, my friends encouraged me to apply for a grant. And I got the grant, and at the award ceremony for the grant, I met a young lady who wanted to be my publicist. And then we had a conversation, and out of that was birthed African American Woman in Cinema, supposedly a one-time event geared towards bringing awareness of what I was trying to do in hopes to attract resources to make it happen. But when we launched it, I saw women from everywhere. And I said, you know, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Had no idea that it would lead me to CNN, ABC, New York Times, Essence Magazine, Jet, Ebony, all that. No, even went to Africa several times. No idea, France, none of that. And so I look back on it and I am fulfilled. It's a feeling that I want to constantly feel because I believe I've been called to do it. And when you've been called to do something, it's a yearning, it's a thirst that although you thank God for what He have allowed you to experience and the awards that I've received. I mean, I had no idea because I did not go into it to be some sort of a star and get all these awards, but it ended up happening, and I am grateful. However, my deepest award comes from being able to say that I have aided in someone's progress and hopefully turn to success. So, yeah, that's what I see when I look back.
And that's why I love it when I get to introduce you to people if we're out. Hey, this is Terra Renee, you know, And if they don't know who you are, then I get to like, because it's like not being starstruck, but it's a respect thing for me. So why not let someone know who you are when I'm introducing you? Your accolades that you earn through God and Christ, of course. And it feels good. Like, hey, this is Terra Renee. You know Terra Renee? Found it. It's like I'm your PR. You know, but it's fun.
Thank you.
It's fun, and over the year, I've grown to love you. You know, just like a big sister.
Thank you.
You know, and you know, guiding me and talking to me and keeping me at level head. You know, even when I you're just a great mentor. You know, you're up there with Kevin Breslin and Jim Brubaker and
wow.
I'm a music world, and it's divine intervention. This whole year, it's strictly been divine intervention for me.
Wow.
Like everything has turned around.
Wow.
Everything has always been great musically,
Right.
but everything has turned around so much. Because for all the negative energy that we receive, God has been giving me nothing but positive back. So I've been inviting it. Like, it's been great.
That's good.
But my circle has been cut so small. Now it's just yourself and the Kevin Breslins and Jim Brubakers and you know, Nicole Lesters and whoever else is on my team is on our team, and it's just been great. And what I want to ask you is, where would you want African American women in cinema to be within the next? I'm gonna put it out there, like 90 days. What's the 90-day plan? I don't want to know the 5-year plan. I don't want to know the 30-day plan. Like, what's next for African American women in cinema, the company, and what's next for Terra Renee, the person?
Well, for the company, we have several programs coming up within the next 90 days. Ava, who had directed Selma, she started her own independent distribution company with a couple other organizations, and they are now releasing 2 films. And we are hosting one of them in Harlem next week, so very excited about that.
I'll be there.
November 20th, I'm very pleased to announce that we have a partnership with Marymount College, and we're doing a one-day summit, and it'll be featuring films and shorts, as well as specialized workshops and talkbacks, as we call it, one of which will feature a young woman of color who heads up a plateau called Diversity in Cannes. Cannes is one of the biggest, or it is Hollywood's biggest film festival in the south of France. And she had this initiative to create a diversity segment within the Cannes Film Festival. So she will be there talking about that and showcasing several films. On December 2nd, which will close out this year for African American women in cinema, we actually started back in October. October is also known as Breast Cancer Awareness Month and Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So we had a screening on October 16th, and I was very pleased at the impact that the screening had, and it caused a strong dialogue, and I believe it caused a lot of embracing of new education and folks who are willing to really be advocates for DV awareness. And so we launched an online fundraiser, which will culminate to a celebratory reception December 2nd. It will be at the Simon Wiesenthal Jewish Museum on East 42nd Street. Senator Comrie is going to be our honorary host. And Simon & Schuster's new author, Rakia Mays, she wrote a book. She will be giving remarks as well. So we're very excited about that. As far as Terra Renee is concerned, I'm going to try in between to find rest. Well, and I am working on a book.
Oh, yeah.
I am working on a book. It'll be 8 chapters. I'm on my 5th chapter. So my goal is to try to finish the book before the year's out.
You got a title for it, or
not yet?
Working title? No.
No working title.
Well, I tell you like this, there's no bad stories that are going to go in the book about me. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Well, how is it to write a book?
You know, this particular book is a little easier because I'm talking about my experiences and my journey in the evolvation, if I can say, of African American women in cinema, how it started, middle, you know, not in, but another level. So the revelations along the way, what I've learned, the type of miracles that have happened. My goal is to let this be an inspiration to those who have been called to unique things in life that goes against the grain and may not have their own personal cheerleader. So hopefully that this book will serve as that for them.
You know, coming up in the music world, I've witnessed a lot, especially black and Latino women or Latino women. And I don't like saying Latino women because if you do know, Latinas, Latino population is black too. Do your research, do your homework. But one thing that really used to bother me is how the girls that wanted a part in the video would portray themselves to the crew or to the friends and staff. Is there any advice, because that's still going on even to this day, and I've been in the music industry 20 years. I didn't really get both feet in until 2002. And even all these years, they're still doing the same thing. Twerk videos, posting bikini or lingerie pictures of themselves. Is it, because for me, that's not the way to get the job.
Right.
That's not the way to get the interview with a Mikey Jay film or Mikey Jay video. You know, me, I want to know where you're at here, and you know, intellectually, and I want to know your goals and aspirations. I want to really give you an interview. Your body is not your interview. Right. Because you can be 400 pounds or 40 pounds. If you fit what the criteria or the scope of what I'm doing, then you're hired. You know, is there any advice that you can give young minority women? I hate to use that word minority, but any advice you can give them to avoid, you know, putting themselves out there like that? Right.
It's unfortunate because it's been a indirect taught to devalue yourself and not understand your worth and value. And the other issue is that we are now in this era, no one wants to go through a process. It's microwave, instant, whatever. And until you understand your worth and value, first of all, you have to get around the right folks who can instill that, impart that into you, and you have to embrace it. Then you have to be willing to give yourself time to go through the journey to achieve whatever it is that you feel you should be doing. But unfortunately, these young women, and there's not enough mentorship around. They do feel that their body is their business card. And that's a very short-lived way to go. Because after you've been picked and used, you know, I just have not seen great success. Well, some may argue, yeah, there's some people, but very, very few. So my advice is, first of all, love yourself. Find positive people who can deposit in you your worth and your value. You don't have to do that. Take a job someplace else and take the journey. Come up with a strategy. If singing is what it is that you want to do, understand the industry and take the necessary steps towards it, but don't use your body.
Awesome. Now, for my first show, I'm gonna start this, what do you call it? We're gonna start this ongoing thing. We're gonna start it with Terra Renee.
Oh.
Tell me 5 fun facts about Terra Renee. Oh. So we're gonna call this the fun fact segment.
Okay.
So get used to it.
Wow, that's a good question. One, I love to laugh. Totally love to laugh.
That's one.
I love to hear a very good, clean joke. I love to read a very good book. I love to listen to wonderful, inspirational music. And I love to travel.
But you're in Africa, so I know you ain't travel. I ain't been to Africa yet. But that's a long journey from then 19 years, almost 19 years ago to now. I mean, that's a journey in itself, you know. And I know there's a lot of people proud of you, but most of all, you're probably proud of yourself.
I'm grateful. I'm grateful because along that journey there were many opportunities for shortcuts, and I refuse to do it because I understand my worth and value. And I learned that if you want a nice, good piece of fruit, it takes time for it to grow and develop and mature. And once it's ripe, then it can be very enjoyable, respected, and appreciated.
Any final words?
Stay strong. Continue, find out what your purpose is in life. Stick to it. Don't dwell on the negativity because the law of attraction will allow more negativity to come. Be positive and live your best life.
And with that being said, those are not just words to hear, those are words to live by, spoken very eloquently by Miss Terra Renee. And I want to thank Terra Renee for being my first official guest on the Now Magazine show. I'm Mikey Jay, your host, and I'll see you next time. Stay blessed.